Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and in this video, we're going to be going back to the basics here, and I'm going to be discussing 5 style rules that all men should know, and I think these will actually help out a lot of you. So keeping the intro short and sweet here, we're getting right into it. Number 1 is dress for the setting that you're in. I think this is something that would be incredibly beneficial for men to know and to really understand. Listen, I know I've made videos telling you guys not to wear certain things, what to wear instead, things that maybe aren't, the best choice, but I'll never tell you to throw away something that you love, okay? I'm never gonna tell you to throw away your favorite graphic t-shirt that has maybe been washed one too many times, but instead just to understand that there's a time and a place to wear it. Maybe the time and place has turned into wearing it to sleep in, and maybe not a first date or a dinner out. You see what I mean? Life would be boring if we were all cookie cutter versions of each other, so I don't want you to neglect your personal style here, but rather to know what's appropriate for an occasion and what isn't. And I know that fashion has gotten a lot more casual as time has gone on, but there's often still a dress code for things, and I think really understanding different dress codes can help you out immensely to make sure that you're not underdressed. And some rules are meant to be broken. I'm wearing white after Labor Day. Sorry to the fashion police, but being appropriately dressed for the setting that you're in is not one that I think should be broken. I think it's important, and I think it's also always better to be overdressed than to be underdressed, and that's something that I follow for my own life as well. And this goes back to the idea that first impressions matter, and the way that you present yourself matters too. If you're getting ready for a first date, put some effort in. If you're going to a wedding with a black tie dress code, wear a tuxedo. Don't show up in jeans and a polo shirt. I think it's kind of rude. So I know I didn't get into details here of the different dress codes, what to wear in different situations. I can absolutely make a video about that if you guys would want to see it and you think it would be helpful. But I think, doing your own research here and just knowing dress codes, there are little graphics online that can help you in terms of what to wear together, what to wear to a formal event, a semi-formal event, cocktail attire, black tie, casual. So I could do a video going into all of the different dress codes if you guys would want to see that with examples of what to wear to each. But I think what I really want you to take away from this video is just to know that there's a time and a place, and I'm not telling you to sacrifice your personal style or your self-expression in order to make that work. I think there's always a way to express yourself and to show your personal flair while still dressing appropriately for the setting that you're in. Next up, we have fit and knowing your body type. So knowing your body type will help you find clothes that are actually flattering on you. This includes knowing your correct measurements and wearing clothes that actually fit you properly. As I always say, fit is king. I'll show a little image here of the different body shapes so that you can pinpoint which one you are and go from there. And again, maybe I can do a dedicated video on how to dress for your shape because it's far too much to include in this video with so many other things to talk about. But in the meantime, there are already some really great resources out there if you need a little bit of help. And I think the first step to do anyway is figure out what your body shape is and go from there. And in terms of fit being the most important thing, I just really want to reiterate that this should be the #1 priority over everything else when it comes to your clothing. Know your measurements. Well-fitted clothes will flatter your body shape and enhance your overall look. They can accentuate your very best features and create a more streamlined and proportional appearance. When garments drape and hang correctly without any excess fabric, sagging, or it being too tight, they're going to appear more refined and well-made. When your clothes look better, you look better. When you look better, your clothes look better. So this kind of goes hand in hand. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. The better you look with no clothes on, the better you're probably going to look in clothes if you get clothes that fit you properly. So that's just a little note to keep in mind. But I will also say knowing what works on my body type and what doesn't has been super helpful for me. Even looking back at past videos where I've worn things that haven't been super flattering, it's very easy to visually see why it doesn't work on my body type. And of course, at the end of the day, you can wear what you want, but I do think knowing what looks good on you specifically is far more helpful than knowing what's trendy or what looks good on other people. The next rule here is to steam or iron your clothing. If you don't have one already, get yourself a steamer. I personally go for the steamer over an iron just because I find it to be a lot easier. It works just as well. Different pieces of clothing call for different things, so definitely make sure you check out the little care label on your garment before steaming and ironing it. But you need to have either a steamer or an iron. And in general, we just want to make sure that we're properly taking care of our clothing so they look better and they last longer. But steaming and ironing clothes can help create a more polished and put together appearance. You know, things like wrinkles and creases have a tendency to make even the nicest clothing look a bit unkempt and sloppy, which is a style no-no. Your clothes will look more crisp and smooth and will automatically make you look more put together, more clean, more refined, which are all good things. This attention to detail is something that I'd highly recommend doing if you don't already, because it can make the world of a difference. But if all of that info wasn't enough, properly pressed clothing tends to drape better on the body, which is going to highlight the garment's design, quality materials, and this makes you look better as well, which is what clothes are supposed to do, right? No wrinkles, no creases. The only pass you get is if you're wearing linen, because linen is impossible to keep wrinkle-free. So that's the only pass you get from me. The next rule here is that classics are greater than trendy pieces. Classics withstand the test of time and trends don't. If you want to get the most versatility and longevity out of your clothing, I would strongly suggest leaning towards classic pieces versus trendy items that are going to be out of style in a season. This is how you build a meaningful wardrobe, by sticking to the classics. Keep in mind the concept of quality versus quantity here as well. It's far better to have a high quality capsule wardrobe that you can interchange and really get the versatility out of, versus a ton of things in your closet that you never wear. And as I always say, basics make the best outfits. Style does not have to be complicated. It's much better to refine your style and to figure out what works the best for you specifically, instead of trying to keep up with all of the trends. You'll save money in the long run by doing this as well. And keep in mind, it's okay to have fun with your clothes and pick up something trendy every now and then, but it shouldn't be the majority of your closet. People who fill their closet with trendy pieces that are out in a season are the same people who say, I have nothing to wear, because they don't. So again, just to wrap this one up, I think it's far better to focus on classic pieces that are going to build your wardrobe, that are going to be versatile, that you can wear with things that you already have, that you're going to be able to wear for years to come, that are going to stand the test of time, and that aren't going to be out the next season and have you rushing or frantically buying new things that you probably don't need and you probably won't wear. And if you need help with that, I have done so many fashion videos on this channel. All of my spring, summer, fall, winter videos tend to feature more classic pieces. That's just what I gravitate towards. That's what I recommend to you guys, because I think it just makes the most sense. You're going to get more versatility, you're going to get more bang for your buck, you're going to save money in the long run, and you're going to look great in the process. So that's what I always recommend. So if you need help, you're like, oh, I don't know what to wear this winter that would be considered a classic, go watch my winter essentials video and you will see exactly what I mean. My next rule here is understanding color theory. So having a basic understanding of color theory will help immensely when it comes to putting outfits together and what looks the best on you specifically. So there are a ton of different elements that are involved within color theory. It's kind of just the overarching point here. And again, I'm not going to talk about all of it today because it would be far too much to include in this video. I can do a dedicated video to it, but I am going to cover the basics just so that you guys can have a basic understanding. You know, back when I was doing outfit review videos, so many of you guys had a really good base in terms of pieces that you chose, but there was so much potential to elevate your outfit more by simply understanding color theory in terms of what colors look good together and what colors look good on you specifically. Again, I'm not going to get too detailed here today for the sake of time, but I'll share the basics. So really, color theory involves understanding the principles of color coordination, contrast, and harmony. I think the ground level place to start here is with the color wheel. The color wheel is a useful tool that categorizes colors and helps determine their relationships. It consists of the primary colors, which are red, blue, and yellow, the secondary colors, which are green, orange, and purple, and the tertiary colors, which are mixtures of primary and secondary colors. Now, within this, we have complementary colors, which are located opposite each other of the color wheel, such as blue and orange, or red and green. So pairing these complementary colors can create visually striking combinations. Think about a flannel that's red and green. Think about a flannel that's orange and blue. They tend to look pretty good together. But the hue of the color matters here too. I use the word striking here for a reason. This can be really difficult to pull off, in my opinion, unless you're going for something with an existing pattern like the flannel that I mentioned. I would not recommend wearing a bright green pair of pants with a bright red top just because they're opposite on the color wheel and you think that automatically means that they look good together. Again, the hue of the red and the green matters here. But if you're going for something that is an existing pattern, like a tie that has red and green, a tie that has blue and orange, a tie that has purple and yellow, these things can be paired nicely with a rather subdued outfit. and it's much easier to make complementary colors look good, in my opinion, when it's an existing type of pattern. We also have analogous colors which are adjacent to each other on the color wheel, such as blue and green or red and orange. These create a harmonious and cohesive look when paired together. We also have monochromatic colors, which involves using different shades and tints of a single color. This creates a very sophisticated and minimalistic look. I think this can look incredibly elevated and expensive when done correctly. I really like doing this with neutrals specifically, just because I prefer a more subdued type of look, but this is a way to really make an outfit look expensive. Now, where I think you'll benefit the most from is understanding the following. Neutral colors like black, white, gray, and beige are very versatile and can be easily combined with other colors. They provide a really easy foundation for building outfits and can be used to balance kind of bolder hues. This is why I always recommend starting with these in my fashion videos, because they're so much easier to work with and build upon. Neutrals are versatility's BFF. The next element of color theory that I think will really help a lot of you guys is understanding contrast. Contrast helps create visual interest in an outfit. By combining colors with varying levels of brightness, lightness, or saturation, you can achieve contrast. For example, pairing a dark navy suit with a crisp white shirt creates a strong contrast because you have a very light color and a very dark color. Something to keep in mind here, you want to mirror the amount of contrast in your clothes with that of your face. Example, I have medium to high contrast. I have fairly light skin with very dark hair at the moment, which makes me more high contrast. Because of this, I look good in high contrast clothing. If my hair was blonde, I would have low contrast, and then I would look better in more low contrast or medium contrast clothing. I can do a video about this if you guys want to see it, because it's far more intricate than I'm just scratching the surface with here. If you're someone who has light skin and dark hair, you're probably high contrast. If you're someone who has light skin and light hair, you're light contrast, because there's less contrast between your hair and your skin tone. Does that make sense? And another part of color theory is skin tone consideration. So it's important to consider your skin tone when you choose colors as well. You know, generally individuals who have warm undertones, such as yellow or olive, look better in earthy tones, while those with cool undertones, like pink or blue, might look better in jewel tones or cooler hues. I have cool undertones, so I look better in colors like pink and blue than orange and green. So I know I just talked about a lot of different things within color theory, and again, I can make a whole video about that if you guys want to see it, but I think really having a basic understanding here of what looks good together and what doesn't can be incredibly beneficial, and also understanding what looks good on you specifically, because we all are different. What looks good on me might not look good on someone else. What looks good on that girl might not look good on me. So it's really so individual, and I think using this to your advantage and really understanding what looks good on you and what doesn't can be incredibly beneficial when you're picking out outfits, figuring out what colors to choose, and just what looks the best on you in general. Now, I do have a bonus rule here for all of you who stuck around until the very end. This might be one of the most important rules of all. If your underwear has a hole in it, throw it away. Okay, I let you keep the graphic shirt in the beginning, but if your underwear has a hole in it or stains, we're throwing it away, okay? We are too grown here to have holes in our underwear. Deal? If you didn't agree with any of the other ones, I hope you can agree with this one. But all right, guys, that's all I have for 5 fashion rules, plus a very important bonus rule that all men should follow. If you like this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. Also, while you're at it, be sure to subscribe to my new YouTube channel. I'm just a little more personal on there. I share a little bit more about my life. I do some vlogs, fashion content. I've really been enjoying connecting with you guys over there as well. So I would love to see you all over there. Let me know down in the comments, what are some fashion or style rules that you think men should know? What are some style and fashion rules that you think women should know? Would love to hear from all of you down in the comments and share some things that I might have missed. Also, like the comments that you agree with. If we get enough of them, I'll do a part 2 to this video of some other fashion rules that men should know. So let me know down below. Would love to hear from you guys. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.